Lost meat.
Vertigo. Valve have come with an update for Vertigo, one of my favourite maps in the pool, and in pro play it has a decent pick rate amongst top tier teams, with Nuke and Ancient being at the highest pick rate and Vertigo being picked about the same as Mirage. I'm here today to show you and explain some essential information and share my perspective on how best to play Vertigo. On face it, I'm a level 6 and trying to get to level 8 by the end of summer, and my team has a win rate of 82% on Vertigo. I'll start by explaining CT side, then T side, with a utility recap and a strategy talk at the end of the video. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to take a look at my other guides, and hit the like button and dropping a sub would be greatly appreciated. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with CT side. Firstly, throwing the ramp smoke just got a lot easier. You can do it on the run as you run to short for a timing on a pick down yellow, side halls. Your A anchor can flash for you to peek down ramp or crane. Just be careful and be prepared because his T's will get a timing on you here also at the bottom of ramp. Your standard utility dump for stopping a rush on A ramp is as follows. And here you can see how I utilize it in a slightly different way.
One A.
This crane utility dump is still decent. The spread for the molly is still okay, and it'll deal a bit of damage to anyone that's trying to rush up. You can also wall bang this spot towards the sandbags that are halfway up ramp. It's worth a spam every now and again if you hear them rushing. You can also boost in this spot. It can be effective, but it leaves gaps in your defense. Boosting here on the catwalk, if you use a lurk smoke, could prove to be very effective. You have one watching short and one watching ramp. Could prove effective. Pros use this boost on the backside, especially if sight is smoked off, because you can spot towards ledge and you can spot towards sandbags. Retake utility like this Molotov and deny plant Molotov. Probably best to use a HE grenade in this scenario, especially if they have sight smoked off, as it will extinguish the Molotov. You can use the same deny plant util to deny a defuse on T side.
And no time.
Some options for crossfire setups in mid to late round is one headshot or one close crane watching the short walkout, and one deep elevators watching the sight and ramp walkout. If you get smoked off, it's best to trade utility in this scenario. So molly sight, molly side halls, change position. Playing for mid control hasn't changed much, but here's two options for grenades that could deal some damage at the start of the round. Very powerful. You could also right click throw a flash and peek for a pick in the early round. Doesn't give them a lot of time to turn away from the flash. You could also do this smoke and you could lurk around mid. Play for a timing here. Or alternatively, what you could do is throw a deeper smoke like this, and you could walk into ladder room. And if they don't push, tell your B player that you're pushing into ladder room and you're going to silent drop ladder, so that the B player can cover you in mid. Just tap W as you're falling by a ladder to silently attach to it, and then you can walk down. Your B player will cover mid for you in this scenario, so you're behind enemy lines and one of your B players is covering mid because you've started 2-1-2. So you're the mid player, there's 2 on B and there's 2 on A. Wherever the action is going, you as the mid player can go there as your B player is covering mid for you. Playing towards B side as the anchor is pretty standard. You throw a Molotov towards the stairs. I don't recommend throwing a Molotov into the doorway, because if the T side just throw this lurk smoke, right? If they throw this smoke, it's going to extinguish the Molotov and they can just rush out with that smoke. So I prefer to Molotov the stairs. If you're going to Molotov at all, maybe save your Molotov for later. Another option you have is a flash and peek. So your B player can flash for you to peek by looking like this. So what it looks like is the T's come up and they get insta flashed, full flashed, and you close to wood can just peek off that flash and kill them as they're full blind. Then you fall back, you're a man advantage, so fall back into your crossfire setups, dumps you some utility onto the stairs so they can't rush for a trade, and then you're just playing towards the right side of generator for a crossfire setup with your B main anchor. So you're here looking towards the white or the red box walkout, and then you have one towards backside pillar and he's watching the wood walkout. So nobody can enter site for free. There's a crossfire here. Let's talk about T-side next, and we're going to start with mid. So a flash like this and a free fire towards this angle should scare them back, and then you can W jump, throw a smoke and throw a Molotov into heaven. Doing this kind of a utility set gives a lot of pressure in mid for the CT side. They don't know how to react to this. So you can split towards the site, or you can just hold that pressure and rotations. Your standard T-side default is going to be a 2-1-2, so 2 towards A, 1 in mid and 2 towards B. And what you need to be careful of is short. This is standard utility for coming up ramp and just trying to take site. So this is going to create a lot of pressure, so it's going to hold the A players towards here. Maybe your B player can come in, split behind. There's a wall bang here you can do against the short player if you are towards crane, but he can also wall bang you back. So just be careful. This is left side smoke, and this is the elevator smoke. And this gives very good coverage for you to walk up ramp. There's smokes you can do from spawn for A site, and they are as follows. This light bulb, and this part of the window, and you just jump through all of them. And what it does is it smokes off all the ramp side of site. And here I use it in a game, and we just rush up ramp and we take site very easy. We kill the short player, we kill the site player. All that's left is the B players and maybe 1 in mid, but I think we actually get the mid player as well. What the mid player is going to do is come down ladder behind us, and you know, if we hear him drop down ladder, if he doesn't know how to do a silent drop, then we're expecting him there anyway. The main thing you have to be aware of on T side when you're coming up A is short and yellow, because they beat you on timing to yellow, no doubt about it. So there's a smoke you can do from spawn that smokes off top yellow if you want to come up, if you want to lurk up A ramp instead. But we choose to rush with this. This denies information from yellow and you can rush up ramp. There's a play here to fake A and lurk up B. So your mid player send 2 B and 2 mid and 1 A. And what your A player can do is smoke elevator. Your mid player can smoke right side of site like this. And then your mid players can split into B through mid with the smokes that I've shown, and your B players can lurk up and contact onto B because they're going to be aware of A more so than B at the time. So you're sending 2 towards B every time, and you're doing that lurk smoke that I showed you earlier on. Standard utility for taking B side is molly in the default box, smoking right side gen, and flashing over the white box to come up onto site. Be careful of wood, anyone that's close. Be careful of backside pillar. Be careful of heaven. Be careful of right side gen. The flash is very good, but I'm going to show you smokes for smoking off the default and the right side gen, so you can rush up and execute onto B. Now this has proved very effective for me and my team, and these smokes do need to be practiced so that you know exactly where you need to aim in this lineup to hit these smokes every time. So you're going to flash up, you're going to do the lurk smoke, and you're going to get the entry pick on B, close wood, or you're going to molly close wood, and then you're just going to rush up onto site because they're not going to be prepared for this. You're going to flash behind white, and then you're going to kill anyone that's close to wood or backside or close to default. Here you can see an example of us using it in a B site execute, and it proves very effective.
He fell off the map. He fell off the map. Flash.
What's coming next is just a utility recap of the CT side and the T side nades that I think are essential, so enjoy. They'll all be timestamped under the description. So first of all, I'm just going to go over tactically what your timings are. For the T side, they get to B stairs in about 8 seconds, and they get to yellow in about 11, and they get to ramp in about 12-13 seconds. In mid, they get here in about 8 seconds, 9 seconds if they're coming up to the wood box here. What's very important for CT side is to note that with the new update, of course, you make it to yellow about 2 seconds faster than the T's can even make it to ramp. Overpowered. I don't think it's going to be patched. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue because it kind of changes how people are going to approach ramp. It changes the meta for ramp. It's not going to just be a utility dump at the start of the round anymore. It's going to be an opportunity for an entry pick on either side. Your chances for an entry pick are going to be B stairs, mid, and yellow, just because the timing's short here on A side. That's going to get you an entry pick down towards the bottom of ramp, right? You can have an entry pick in mid if they play aggressive in mid, and you can pick them off, and you can get an entry if you're playing the default here early round for stairs. Okay, you can also flash and peek, and you can flash and peek for an entry kill. So if you get an entry kill, let's say on CT side, fall back into these crossfires that I've pictured here in yellow. So you have one back pillar and you've one right gen, and he's watching this walk out, and this guy is watching this wood walk up, right? So they can't get onto site, they can't plant, and there's no gap in this setup here, because they can't walk behind CT because this player is watching it. They can't walk up short and kill anyone else because this player is watching it. They can't walk mid and come up behind anyone because this player is watching it. And they can't come onto B and plant because these two players are watching it. Simple as. Also, if they do choose to come B, you have a third player towards B, who is also a quick rotation away from helping towards A, right? Simple as. If they're rushing 5 men to a site like A, mid player goes down ladder, one of the B players comes from behind also, and one of the players holds mid just in case they have a lurker towards mid. But your A players are going to have to hit their shots, basically. Same goes for B. If the T side is coming up B really fast and you don't even have a chance to get into a crossfire like this, your A players have to be instinctually coming behind, and your mid player has to help from heaven. It's simple as that. If you get a man advantage on CT side, don't squander it. Fall into a crossfire setup like this and like this so that you win more CT rounds, and it's very difficult for the T's to get the plant. The bomb planted is the T side 6th man, and the clock running down from the start of the round to 0 is the CT side 6th man. Remember that.